Welcome to Mr. Mystery.
Today we are presenting top 10 most dangerous prisons in the world. San Quentin, California. San Quentin State Prison maximum security correctional facility for men located in San Quentin near San Francisco, California. Opened in 1854, the penitentiary is the state's oldest prison and its only facility that conducts executions. San Quentin is also among the most well-known prisons in the United States. As one of the oldest prisons in the United States, San Quentin was among the country's most well-known, referenced in numerous movies, television shows, songs, and books. Some of the famous prisoners are Scott Patterson, Richard Allen Davis, Lonnie Franklin, Charles N.G., Rodney James Alcala, and so on. Bang Kwang, Thailand. There are little prisons in the world whose conditions are as harsh as Bang Kwang Central Prison, located at the outskirts of Bangkok, Thailand. Envisioned by King Rama and created between the years of 1927 and 1931, it was built not to be an ordinary prison, but a penitentiary for the worst offenders who are awaiting sentences of the appeal court and/or Supreme Court, inmates who were sentenced to remain in prison between 25 to life, and death sentence prisoners who waited for executions. Over its long history, Bang Kwang Central Prison became well known around Thailand and Asia as one of the harshest prisons in the world, with conditions that caused many prisoners to lose either their life or their sanity. Alcatraz Prison. There were no confirmed prisoner escapes from Alcatraz. A total of 36 inmates put the supposedly escape-proof Alcatraz to the test. Of those convicts, 23 were captured, 6 were shot to death and 2 drowned. The other 5 went missing and were presumed drowned. Alcatraz is named for seabirds. Before criminals became its denizens, the windswept island was home to large colonies of brown pelicans. In spite of his nickname, the birdmen of Alcatraz had no birds in the prison. Military prisoners were Alcatraz's first inmates. Alcatraz was home to the Pacific Coast's first lighthouse. The country's worst criminals were not automatically shipped to Alcatraz. ADX Florency. The Supermax unit at ADX Florency houses about 400 male inmates, each assigned to one of 6 security levels. It is designed for 490 inmates but has never been at full capacity. It houses prisoners including Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, bomber Ted Kaczynski, and Oklahoma City bombing conspirator Terry Nichols. ADX Florence opened in 1994, houses more than 400 of the Federal Bureau of Prisons' most violent, disruptive, and escape-prone inmates, according to the BOP. The prison, which has been called the toughest prison in America, is known for its extreme security measures and control of inmates. ADX Florency was built to restrain the nation's worst offenders by limiting their freedoms to the bare minimum. La Santé, France. La Santé prison, literally meaning prison of health, is a prison operated by the French Prison Service of the Ministry of Justice, located in the east of the Montparnasse district of the 14th arrondissement in Paris, France, at 42 Rue de la Santé. It is one of the most infamous prisons in France, with both VIP and high security wings. The prison is located on the site of a former coal market. The prison features a hub and spoke design similar to that which had been previously implemented in the construction of Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. One of the peculiarities of Lesenti today is that until 2000 inmates were divided by geographic origin and ethnicity. Diyarbakir, Turkey, is a prison located in Diyarbakir, southeastern Turkey. It was established in 1980 as an E-type prison by Ministry of Justice. After the September 12, 1980 Turkish coup, the facility was transferred to military administration and became a martial law military prison. Control of the prison was returned to the Ministry of Justice on May 8, 1988. The capacity of the Diyarbakir E-type prison is 744. However, the prison is sometimes overcrowded. When the Human Rights Commission in the Grand National Assembly of Turkey visited the prison in October 1996, it had a capacity of 650 and was accommodating 942 prisoners. La Sabaneta, Venezuela. As with most prisoners around the world, Venezuela's most notorious correctional facility suffers from overpopulation. Originally built to house 700 inmates, La Sabaneta is now home to 3,700 prisoners, who are guarded by a measly 40 prison guards. To sleep on the floor elbow to elbow, prisoners bathe from the same water bucket in a corner and relieve themselves in plastic bags they toss out a barred window onto an open-air patio. Violence is rampant and necessary for survival. Nearly all the inmates carry knives for protection. Those who don't risk being cut down. Fierce riots are frequent in La Sabaneta. Cases of AIDS and tuberculosis are not rare in this prison. Tadmor, Syria. Westerners know Palmyra for its ancient Greco-Roman ruins, but the Arabic term for the place, Tadmor, gives most Syrians goosebumps. It's synonymous with death, torture, horror, and madness. The prison was built by the French in the 1930s in the heart of the desert about 200 kilometers northeast of Damascus. But it was during Hafez al-Assad's 30-year rule between 1971 and 2000 that it gained its current reputation. Thousands of political dissidents were reported to have been humiliated, tortured, and summarily executed there. It's utterly unfair to call it a prison. In prison you have basic rights, but in Tadmor you have nothing. You are only left with fear and horror. Rikers Island, US. The complex has housed jail inmates since the 1930 and has long been known for brutality. It saw hundreds of stabbings each year during the 1980 and early 1990. It has been nicknamed Gladiator School, Torture Island, the Guantanamo of New York, and in summertime, the Oven. Rikers Island is among the world's largest jails. It is perched on 413-acre island between Queens and the Bronx and holds about 7,000 inmates. Most inmates at Rikers are awaiting trial and cannot afford bail. The population is mostly poor and black or Latino. The most notorious case in recent history at the complex is the death. The most notorious case in recent history at the complex is the death of Kalia Browder, a teenager from the Bronx who was accused of stealing a backpack. Carandiru, Brazil. Carandiru is today remembered as one of the worst prisons in the history of modern world and the place of one of the largest human rights violations in the history of Brazil. Built by the Samuel das Naves to meet all the demands of the 1890 Criminal Code, this prison became so overcrowded at the end of the 20th century that inmates managed to live by their rules, overpowering small amount of guards that worked there. During the peak of its use, this prison housed over 8,000 prisoners with only 1,000 prison officers, trying unsuccessfully to control them. So, that was our list for today. See you next time!